Well, this is my third video about the AXiAL Ryft, and people that have a keen eye will see I've done something different already. Now, in the comment section of my last video, my first drive with this vehicle, people were commenting on the amount of torque twists that this buggy has, and I totally agree. This thing basically lifts its front tire and wants to rip and rock and roll like crazy as it pulls away, because on 4S LiPo, basically almost 17 volts at full charge, this thing is insanity. Insanity. Now, a lot of people are mentioning, hey, you know, it didn't come with a sway bar. Now, the people that are noticing, yes, those are different shocks on there. A dual shock setup. To whereas these used to be the single shocks that were back there before. Why are your shocks upside down? Because I'm keeping the weight down low. There's another reason to that as well. Folks that did want a sway bar on this do have that ability coming from AXiAL. AXiAL does recognize that people would want to put a sway bar on this. Actually, let's have a look at the model that this could have very well been modeled after. What I've done is I've put dual shocks in the back on either side because it does give you that ability to do that. Gives you two mounting points in the trailing arms and of course up top. Another reason why I have it flipped upside down is because these two brackets I actually took out because they fit here and there. Fumble fingers there. On either side. If you actually have the shocks flipped over in the other position, of course, this won't fit. Now, why I like these shocks, these are Integy MSR10 shocks. These used to be not made anymore, but now I see after very, very many years of using them, just coincidentally, Integy is making them again, and these used to be available for the HPI Wheelie King. I love them because they are internally sprung. They come with different springs, and you can add different weights and oils and all that neat stuff, and of course being aluminum, they will last forever. These were the ones I was going to put on there and just call it the pumpkin, but I figured I wanted to keep with the blue. I really do like that whole theme, and I will switch out these front ones as well. One of the things I noticed about the Ryft shocks in the back is this sound. And that is just the coil rubbing against the threads for the preload adjustment. Now, that's not a big deal. They function just fine. But these in the back here, super smooth. Because I tuned both of the shocks on either side, now I'm transferring more weight to the ground, and I get way more traction. I might as well give you a show here, just right here in the shop. You'll be able to see. I also switched over to my rugged radio because why wouldn't I? They seem to be a great accessory for each other. Now, let's see here. Just give it like what, half throttle? Let's see if there's any torque twist here. Aha! Ha-ha! Nice! Pure power. If you guys are not familiar with rock bouncers, go and check out Busted Knuckle Films right now on YouTube, or check out Cole over at Mad Ram 11. You heard that right, the number 11. They've been doing rock bouncing videos forever. Rock obstacles, up insane bounty hills. My buddy Curtis Hazard, that's always a big fan of the show here, he does some crazy RC rock bouncers on Facebook at the Hazard, what is it, the bouncer part? Woo! Look at the power in that. So now you can see that with the proper suspension tuning, you kind of don't really need a sway bar. These things, although they do drive on asphalt from time to time, they're really made for off-road obstacle courses. This does have an open differential on both sides, and so you're going to expect tons of wheel speed and grip when you need it. A lot of people are like, I'm going to lock up the back axle, I'm going to lock up the front axle. People are going to do all sorts of things. I encourage that. That's what the hobby's all about. I actually think with my suspension the way it's tuned now, it's going to be a blast and not even need really anything else. Brisk today, hooey, and windy. I will stand back here so you guys can hear me. What a machine. Oh, see, keeping that weight down low certainly does help. When I lowered it down, I also lowered the cage, so the overall center of gravity is more stable. Here's a nice little step right here that's a hop up. Yeah, that's about right. One of the things I love about the design on this vehicle is you'll notice the servo is tilted backwards, so you don't have to worry about slamming into something now and breaking your servo right away. Now, of course, I live on the bald prairie, so I'm going to have to take this somewhere where the snow has been kind of crushed down for another good trial test. But overall, you can see that suspension makes a huge difference. Now, I can already predict in the comment section, you guys are going to be like, it is way too stiff back there. But actually, under any kind of power or torque as I'm climbing, I'm going to have plenty of movement in the rear suspension. Remember, I'm not going out onto the rocks to crawl with this machine. This is basically meant for, you know, full out throttle and really just to climb and to go through obstacles. Is this the ultimate off-road machine? Very possibly. Why would I even say that? Because these rock bouncers that are out there these days are so advanced in full size that the smaller ones are, you know, equally coming along as quickly. Now, this doesn't have a full front engine per se. It doesn't have an engine throughout. It just has an electric motor. That's why we see the torque twist to begin with anyway. But, you know, I think out of the box, the way it was, the way I had it, was absolutely fantastic. When I was off-road, I didn't really mind the torque twist as it seemed to kind of help me out in the snow situations. But I want to know your guys' thoughts, hey? Look at this. I lowered it down just a hair on the back, keeping that nose up a little bit higher and also straightening out the position of my drive shaft just a little bit more so I can transfer more power to those back wheels.